Hi everyone, I'm Linda Reimer, one of the librarians at the Southeast Steuben County Library. Welcome to Library Connections, our weekly readers, viewers, and listeners advisory video cast. Enjoy.
Library Connections number 18, hosted by SSCL librarian Linda Reimer. This video cast is being recorded on Thursday, September 3rd, 2020. Kicking things off with the top 5 books on the fiction bestseller list for this week, courtesy of the New York Times. At number 1, Thick as Thieves by Sandra Brown. Arden Maxwell returns home to uncover the truth about her father's involvement in a heist that went wrong 20 years ago. At number 2, Squeeze Me by Carl Hyacin. A dead dowager, hungry pythons, and occupants of the Winter White House shake up the Palm Beach charity ball season. At number 3, The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. The lives of twin sisters who run away from a southern black community at age 16 diverge as one returns and the other takes on a different racial identity, but their fates intertwine. At number 4, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. In a quiet town on the North Carolina coast in 1969, a young woman who survived alone in the marsh becomes a murder suspect. And at number 5, Emerald Blaze by Iona Andrews, the latest installment in the Hidden Legacy series. Catalina Baylor overcomes heartbreak to team up with Alessandro Segredo. Sounds intriguing. And on to the top 5 books on the nonfiction bestseller list for this week. At number 1, His Truth is Marching On by John Meacham. The Pulitzer Prize-winning biographer creates a portrait of Representative John Lewis, the late civil rights leader and congressman for Georgia's 5th Congressional District. At number 2, Hoax by Brian Stetler. The CNN anchor and chief media correspondent examines the inner workings of Fox News and its relationship with President Trump. At number 3, Caste by Isabel Wilkerson. The Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist examines aspects of caste systems across civilizations and reveals a rigid hierarchy in America today. At number 4, Untamed by Glennon Doyle. The activist and public speaker describes her journey of listening to her inner voice. And at number 5, Live Free or Die by Sean Hannity. The Fox News host offers his assessment on what is at stake in the 2020 election. Jumping right in with our first recommended read of the week. This is the first book in a historical mystery series. It's called Billy Boyle. It's written by James R. Benn. What's a 22-year-old Irish-American cop who's never been out of Massachusetts before doing at Beardsley Hall, an English country house, having lunch with King Haakon of Norway? Billy Boyle wonders himself. Back home in Southie, he barely made detective when war was declared. Unwilling to fight, and perhaps die, for England, he was relieved when his mother wangled a job for him on the staff of a general married to her distant cousin. But the general turns out to be Dwight D. Eisenhower, whose headquarters are in London, which is undergoing the Blitz, and Uncle Ike wants Billy to become his personal investigator. Billy is dispatched to the seat of the Norwegian government in exile. Operation Jupiter, the impending invasion of Norway, is being planned, but it is feared there is a German spy amongst the Norwegians. Billy doubts his own abilities, with good reason, A theft and 2 murders test his investigative powers, but Billy proves to be a better detective than he or anyone else expected. And that's the first recommended read of the week. Moving on to our second recommended read of the week. This one, too, is a mystery. It's called Line of Sight, written by James Qualley. Crime reporter Qualley makes his impressive fiction debut with a hard-hitting crime novel set in Newark, New Jersey. P.I. Russell Avery, a once idealistic white journalist, bounced from his newspaper job, now fixes things for screwed-up cops. When Keona Jackson, a black social justice activist who serves as Avery's conscience, spurs him into probing the shooting death of black teenager Kevin Mathis, a suspected drug dealer. Avery plunges into a miasma of police corruption and reconnects with former girlfriend Dina, a reporter bent on unmasking the crooked cops. The deeper he investigates, the more Avery becomes convinced that he's been looking for heroes and villains in a city that breeds only survivors, and where protecting and serving are too often reduced to doing evil so that good may result. This scalding expose of human failures, in which friendships go tragically sour, powerfully updates Raymond Chandler's mean streets. Qualley is definitely a writer to watch, and that's the Publisher's Weekly Review. Moving along to our first audiobook recommendation of the week. This one's fiction. It's called The Ant Who Wouldn't Die, written by Shirunstu Mukhopadhyay and read by Deepta Gupta and Jera Jane Nikubi. And apologies to the author and readers if I'm not spot on with those pronunciations. I did do some online searching to try and determine how to pronounce particularly the author's name, but came up empty. So no disrespect intended. This book is getting good reviews in print. And getting back to it, The Ant Who Wouldn't Die is a laugh out loud, tug at your heartstrings tale of love, family, and freedom, centered around 3 generations of Bengali women. Samlata has just married into the dynastic, but declining, Mitra family. At 18, she expects to settle into her role as a devout wife in this traditional, multi-generational family. But then Samlata, wandering the halls of the grand decaying Mitra mansion, stumbles upon the body of her great-aunt-in-law, Pimisha. A child bride, widowed at 12, Pimisha has finally passed away at the ripe old age of 70, which seems a bit young to me by 21st century standards, but I'm digressing. Getting back to Pimisha, she has passed, but she isn't ready to let go just yet. Pimisha has long harbored a grudge against the Mitras for keeping her in perpetual widowhood and never allowing her to fall in love. Now her ghost intends to meddle in their lives, making as much mischief as possible. Pimisha gives Samlata the keys to her mysterious box of gold to keep it out of the Mitra's hands. However, the selfless Samlata, witnessing her new family waste away their wealth to the brink of bankruptcy, has her own ideas. And the third female protagonist is Bashan, who is a book-loving, scooter-riding, rebellious teenager who wants absolutely nothing to do with the many suitors that ask for her hand. She yearns for freedom and wants to go to college. But when her poor neighbor returns from America, she finds herself falling in love. Perhaps Permisha's yearning spirit lives on in her own heart. The Ant Who Wouldn't Die is a frenetic, funny, and fresh novel about 3 generations of Mitra women who are surprising at every turn and defy all expectations. They may be guarding a box of gold, but they are the true treasures in this gem of a novel. And moving along to our second audiobook recommendation of the week. This one too is a mystery. I seem to be on a mystery kick this week. This is getting great reviews. It's called Winter Counts, written by David Heska and Wanblee Wendon, and read by Daryl Dennis. Virgil Winded Horse, the half Lakota, half white narrator of Wendon's gorgeous debut, serves as a fists for hire enforcer on South Dakota's Rosebud Indian Reservation. Ever since Virgil's sister died in a car accident 3 years earlier, her son Nathan has been living with him. And back when Virgil was an alcoholic, his erratic behavior drove away the love of his life, Marie Shortbear. But now he's sober, and after Nathan ends up in the hospital from an overdose of heroin, Marie returns to help. Virgil takes on the bad guys responsible for bringing heroin to the reservation. To complicate matters, Marie faces a decision about medical school in New Mexico right as she and Virgil are falling back in love. The novel twists delicately around various personal conflicts while artfully addressing issues related to the politics of the reservation. Wendon combines funny, complex, and unforgettable characters with strong poetic prose, including this little gem. This was the winter of my sorrow, one I had tried to elude, but which had come for me with a terrible cruelty. This is crime fiction at its best, and that is the Starred Publishers Weekly Review. Moving along to our first streaming recommendation for the week. It's called Lovecraft Country, available through HBO's streaming service. It's based on Matt Ruff's novel of the same name. Lovecraft Country follows Atticus Freeman as he meets up with his friend Letitia and his uncle George to embark on a road trip across 1950s Jim Crow America in search of his missing father. This begins a struggle to survive and overcome both the racist terrors of white America and the terrifying monsters that could be ripped from the pages of a Lovecraft paperback. Lovecraft Country is executive produced by showrunners Misha Green, J.J. Abrams, and others. There's quite a few people that have gone into creating this. So if you like terror/horror films that are well crafted, check this one out. Our second streaming recommendation for this week is called Game Night with Justin Bateman. It's a comedy with a dash or two of drama, and it's available through Amazon Prime Video. 2 words, 9 letters. Game Night is a riot, an energetic, consistently clever comedy that playfully toys with the expectations of a savvy audience weaned on such fare. Filled with knowing pop culture references and deriving laughs from every key character, it's the kind of smart, fast-paced entertainment that makes a pretty delicate juggling act look positively easy. Introducing its central characters in a rapid-fire pre-credit sequence, Max and Annie are shown meeting, being cute, bonding over their shared love of games and all sorts of competitions. Soon enough, they're married and happily hosting a regular game night. Their light-hearted bliss, however, is thrown for a loop when Max's wealthy brother Brooks pops back into town, promising to host a game night that will be taking it up a notch. What starts out as an elaborate staged mystery soon bleeds into reality, running afoul of gun-toting killers, even if the couple and their friends, caught up as they are in the competition and various personal tics, are hilariously slow to catch on. And that's from the CNN review. So if you're looking for a comedy, that's a good one to check out. Our third streaming recommendation for this week is a blast from the past suggestion. It's the 1997 film Anaconda, starring Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube, Owen Wilson, Eric Stoltz, Carrie Werner, Jonathan Hyde, and John Voight. The plot is as follows. A group of filmmakers looking for a lost native tribe instead find a man-eating monster in this thriller. Terry Flores is a documentary filmmaker on assignment to make a film about the Shirishma Indians of the Amazon, a mysterious tribe known as the People of the Mists. As Terry and her crew, cameraman Danny, sound recordist Gary, anthropologist Steve, production manager Denise, and host Warren, head down the river, they discover a man whose boat has sunk and desperately needs rescue. Paul Cerrone, the mysterious stranger that they saved from the waters, claims to know something of the Shirashma people and says he will take the crew to them. Instead, he guides the group to the hiding place of the fearsome anaconda, a gigantic snake that swallows a man whole, vomits him up, and eats him again. The snake is worth a fortune if captured, but can a creature so dangerous be captured at all? Watch the film to find out. As a final bonus streaming recommendation, I'm going to recommend a brand new documentary. It's called All In, The Fight for Democracy, and it's an Amazon Studios production that just came out. It's available, of course, through Amazon Prime Video. In anticipation of the 2020 presidential election, this documentary examines the often overlooked yet insidious issue of voter suppression in the U.S. With the perspective and expertise of Stacey Abrams, the former minority leader of the Georgia House of Representatives, the documentary offers an insider's look into laws and barriers to voting that threaten fundamental rights. And if you live in Steuben County and have questions about how to vote, how to get an absentee ballot, or anything about voting, you can visit the Steuben County website found at www.steubencony.org. Once you're there, you click on the Board of Elections link, which is found under the Departments and Services menu. You can also call the Steuben County Board of Elections. Their office hours are 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and their phone number is area code 607-664-2260. If you live in a county other than Steuben, you can Google your county and Board of Elections to find your County Board of Elections website, where you'll find information on how to vote and the contact information for your Board of Elections. And on to our Odd Duck recommendation of the week. This week I'm going to recommend a book. This is called Consequential Strangers, Turning Everyday Encounters into Life-Changing Moments, written by Melinda Blau and Karen Fingerman, PhD. This is a book that's available through the Southeast Steuben County Library. We actually have it at our annex at the moment. And it was very highly recommended during one of our weekly volunteer and staff chat sessions. That is something we do through Zoom weekly. We catch up with our volunteers, library volunteers. They meet with us once a week, us being the Southeast Steuben County Library staff that is available at the time. And it's really quite nice. We talk about books we've read, videos we've watched, we read a little bit of poetry, and this was a recent title that was very highly recommended. And let me tell you what it's about. Our barista, our mechanic, our coworker, they populate our days, but we often take them for granted. Yet these are the people who bring novelty and information into our lives, allow us to exercise different parts of ourselves, and open us up to new opportunities. In their unprecedented examination of people on the periphery, psychologist Karen Fingerman, who coined the term consequential strangers, collaborates with journalist Melinda Blau to expand on and make her own groundbreaking research come alive. drawing as well from Blau's more than 200 interviews with specialists in psychology, sociology, marketing, and communication. The book presents compelling stories of individuals and institutions, past and present, a rich portrait of our social landscape on and off the internet. It presents the science of casual connection and chronicles the surprising impact that consequential strangers have on business, creativity, the work environment, our physical and mental health, and the strength of our communities. Now, that's the overview from Barnes & Noble, and I know this sounds like from the overview that you got to be there in person to connect with other people, which is ideal, but at the moment it may not be practical for so many of us being home-based or homebound during the pandemic, but you could still touch base with other people. Go for a walk around the block, and I bet you'll run into somebody walking their dog. You can start out a conversation by saying, "Hey, what a beautiful dog," and go from there. You can, of course, use the internet, social media. You might also drop a letter to someone that you haven't talked to for a while. But there are ways to connect, and we need to keep doing that even during the pandemic. And moving right along to our cute cat photos for the week. This week's cute cat photos have a theme. Office assistants is the theme. You'll notice Piper shown there with me in the background. He's right in front of my keyboard. And then I got up to leave the room for a minute, came back, and Winston had decided my chair was the best place to be. And of course I had to explain to him that my chair was where I needed to be if I needed to work, which I did. So I put him down and he went around, and then the next thing I knew, this is what I saw in front of me. Winston deciding that if he could sit in my chair, he'd sit right in front of me. So thankfully I have a keyboard that is wireless, so I could type for a few minutes while he got his attention, and just basically was cute, because he is cute. And yes, I'm one of those cat people. Okay, if you have questions about this weekly video cast, please let me know. Send me an email. reimerl@stls.org is my email, and I'll get back to you. Library resources you can access from home page 1. Clockwise from the top left-hand corner, we've got the library's website, ssclibrary.org. You can find out all about the library, our materials and services, digital and print, through our website. Second photo, top right-hand corner, reference desk online. If you wish to submit a reference question through our website, you can also call the library, and I'll have the phone number up in just a minute here. Moving down to the bottom right-hand corner of the page, the SSCL schedule an appointment page, because you still have to schedule an appointment to return books, pick books up. If you have something quickly that needs to be photocopied or faxed, you could just call the library and come in to the parking lot, and a staff member can meet you and take care of that need for you. StarCat, seen at the bottom left-hand corner, is the catalog of physical materials, print books, DVDs, etc. Library resources you can access from home page 2. You see here before you the digital catalog at left and RB Digital at right. The digital catalog features eBooks and downloadable audiobooks with just a handful of streaming videos. The RB Digital catalog consists of more than 3,000 on-demand magazines, no waiting. You can get them whenever you desire. You just need a library card. There are 2 apps for the digital catalog, Libby for newer devices and Overdrive for older devices, and just one for RB Digital, and you can see what the apps look like there. The library has several blogs as well, which I urge you to check out. There's some great entertainment value there. There's a local history blog. There's a makerspace blog. We've got story musings, the SSCL blog hosted by the library's resident author and head of adult services, Michelle Wells, and also Tech and Book Talk, which is what it sounds like, a little bit of tech information and a lot about books and other materials you would enjoy, DVDs, music, that kind of thing. If you have questions about library services during the pandemic, or if you'd like to make an appointment to browse, pick up, or return items, you can do it through our website, but you can also go the traditional route and simply give us a call. The library's telephone number is the same as it's been for years and years, area code 607-936-3713, and currently, it's September 2020 right now, the annex hours are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Social media. Just a weekly reminder, you can connect with the library and post questions via social media. The library has pages on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. In relation, each video in this series is available on demand via the library's YouTube page after it has first been shown on Facebook Live. There are references for this week should anyone wish to check out the articles. You can, of course, just click pause on the video and copy down the information, search for it. And on to the tech tip of the week.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Tech Tip of the Week. This week I'm going to talk about a cool app that's available for Android, iOS, and Windows. So that's a Google or Apple or Windows mobile device. It's called Star Walk 2. And it's a really cool app. It is not free. It does cost $2.99, but if you download this app to your phone or mobile device, you do have to have an internet connection, but your internet might actually reach outside your house. And then you go into your front yard at any time of the day or night, actually, but this is better at night. I'll open the app and you'll see what I mean. It shows you what the stars look like depending upon how you hold your phone. So I'm going to tilt my phone back so that it's looking straight up at the sky in here where I am in Corning, New York. And it shows me Leo. And if I move it, I'm going to go over a little bit, I'll see Lynx. It shows you where the stars are, so it is like a star walk. It's like a map to the stars, because if you're anything like me, I like to look up at the stars, but I honestly can never tell where Ursa Major is, or any of the other stars, except for the Big Dipper. But with this app, you can learn about them and see right where they are, and it's really cool. So I urge you to check it out. Again, it's called Star Walk 2, and it looks like the app you see right here in the top left-hand corner. And that's the Tech Tip of the Week. And that's the program for this week. I'll see you next week with another edition of Library Connections. Stay safe.